Live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News at noon starts now.
1 down, 2 to go. Police making progress in rounding up the robbery suspects who caused a panic at 12 Oaks Mall in Novi, but the first arrest wasn't without incident. A new development in the case of a murdered Detroit firefighter. Charges have been reinstated against 2 of the 3 people arrested in David Madrigal's killing. And deadly speed. A young woman is killed by someone else's reckless driving behind the wheel. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us. We are hearing from the devastated family of Sierra Nicole Bean. She's the 20-year-old girl, one of 4 people that were in an SUV early this morning that slammed into a telephone pole and then hit a house near Evergreen and 7 Mile. The 3 other men in that vehicle have so far survived their injuries. Priya Mann is live on the story. And Priya, when you look at that mangled vehicle, you're almost shocked that anyone could survive.
And the family believes it was drag racing that led to the crash, and neighbors say they heard a lot of commotion shortly before the crash around 1 Tuesday morning. Here's what we know. That SUV came barreling down Evergreen and crashed into that light pole, which has since been fixed, but that SUV kept going, jumped the curb, and then crashed into that home. Sierra Bean was ejected from the SUV and died at the scene.
This is a nightmare. I feel like this is Final Destination 2016.
The brother of 20-year-old Sierra Bean fought back tears as he described his sister's final moments.
My little sister being thrown from a vehicle, and it honestly seems unreal.
Sierra was in an SUV with 3 other people early Tuesday morning. Her family says the driver was drag racing on Evergreen near 7 Mile. The driver lost control, hit a light pole, jumped the curb, and crashed into a home. Sierra was ejected from the SUV.
This is the outcome. You know, nobody deserves to go through what me and my family going through right now, having to worry about burying my little baby sister, you know, at 20 years old.
If there's anything positive that comes from this tragedy, it was the actions of this young man. He heard the crash, and when he went to investigate, he found Sierra's phone and called her mother.
I don't know who you are. I don't know you. It's a big accident that's on my block. I found this phone in the dirt. I don't know who it belongs to. And then she was like, oh, that's my daughter's phone. That's my daughter Sierra's phone.
They were a blessing sent, you know, because honestly, there's so many thieves out here nowadays. I'm surprised they didn't steal her iPhone.
3 other people were injured in the crash and taken to the hospital.
This is so terrible because I had just talked to her like yesterday, and now I'll never see her again.
See the exterior of that home where the SUV crashed and finally came to a stop. I'm told that's a rental property, and there were 3 people inside at the time of the crash. They were not injured. 3 other people inside of that SUV are currently at the hospital. It's not clear the state of their condition. Detroit police are investigating. Reporting live from the west side, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Oh, what a tragedy. Our hearts go out to that family, Priya. Thank you. And there were some very tense moments this morning in East Point when electrical wires fell on top of this garbage truck. The truck got tangled up in power lines along Kelly Road and Rosetta in East Point. The driver was trapped inside of the vehicle with those live wires draped over it. DTE Energy crews were able to cut power to those wires. They accomplished that task, and the driver was able to get out of his rig without being injured. Work continues to get those wires back up and to restore electricity to those homes and businesses impacted. Meanwhile, murder charges were reinstated for 2 people that police say were involved in the death of a Detroit firefighter. 59-year-old David Madrigal was beaten to death in his home last December. 3 people, Timmy Soto, Christian Rancic, and Nicole O'Neill were all originally charged with the murder, although the charges against Rancic and O'Neill were later dropped. That was until today when a Wayne County judge reinstated those charges. Rancic and O'Neill now face time for murder, while Soto is charged with murder, armed robbery, arson, and larceny. Meanwhile, 2 suspects of Saturday's 12 Oaks Mall smash and grab robbery at a Tapper's store remain at large this noontime after one of them turned himself in to police last night, and the arrest turned eventful, to say the least. Let's get to Local 4's Rob Maloney joining us now live in Novi with the very latest on this ongoing investigation and what happened with this arrest last night.
Rhonda, last night this car went down to the Detroit 6th Precinct, West Side, to go pick up this young man who had turned himself in, and we discovered one thing about him. He has an affinity and a talent for breaking glass, because the window that's supposed to be here isn't. It was kicked in, but you can hear the glass inside the door. Sunday afternoon around 5:20 in Tappers, the guy in the black shirt and white sleeves pulls out a sledgehammer and smashed the high-end watch case at Tappers 12 Oak.
He managed to escape the officers and took on a brief foot pursuit where he was eventually apprehended again after a brief struggle, which resulted in one officer being bit, both officers being scratched, and some minor abrasions.
He could no longer be transferred in the Novi car, so Michigan State Police snapped him up in the caged cruiser and brought him to Novi PD, where he remains in custody. And while Novi police aren't exactly sure why the violent change of heart, they have an idea.
I think he was aware of that. I think the severity of the crime he might have committed sunk in. And what we know, what we believe to be accurate, is his family members encouraged him to surrender himself, and maybe he had second thoughts after doing that.
Now, there are two suspects who remain at large. They haven't kicked out any glass just yet, but the police are saying here that they fully expect them to be caught very soon. They don't have the names just yet, or at least they're not talking about names, but they're getting tips, they say, 24/7. They're on the case. They say they expect to wrap this up here pretty soon. Back to you.
Well, what have police learned so far about this suspect that they got overnight?
Well, what they found out is that these guys allegedly were casing other jewelry stores, that they now have information that they had gone to several different stores either in the area or at 12 Oaks before they finally decided to take out that 3-pound sledgehammer and break the glass at the Tappers Sunday afternoon.
No doubt police will probably be able to track the other two down pretty quickly. Rod, thank you. Well, something is going on here in downtown Detroit that's never been seen before. A vehicle is moving on the M1 rail tracks along Woodward Avenue. It's called a speeder. It's nothing fancy, but this is a vehicle that is checking the track to make sure that it's free of any obstructions and that the rail cars can operate safely and freely throughout traffic. The speeder will be checking the entire length of the M1 rail over the next several weeks. The M1, or I should say Q line, because that's the official name, should start transporting passengers sometime next year. Pretty exciting. And this is not exciting, actually a big pain for folks that live in Oxford Township. A water main break has prompted a boil water advisory for the village of Oxford today. The break in the line is at Newman and Drainer, and as either cut off water to residents there and businesses or lowered pressure in portions of Oxford. The affected area is south of Golf Villa, east of Sanders, north of the Orion-Oxford Township limits, and west of Lapeer Road. If you live in that area, you're being advised to boil water for drinking or cooking, and you will be notified when the repairs are complete and the water is once again safe to drink. So big inconvenience for families there. Maybe just head on outside and enjoy the weather and try not to think about it, Brandon.
Oh, that's a good idea. Always recommended on a day like today. Look at some of these beautiful numbers out there. And again, like yesterday, we don't have the humidity, but we're middle upper 70, 77 Metro and in Monroe, 79 in Mount Clemens. We have 77 up in Lapeer, 76 in Ann Arbor, where we had a reading of 48 this morning. So we're up big time, and the winds are helping out of the south and southwest, anywhere between 7 and almost 17 miles an hour. Not real strong winds throughout the day, but breezes at times 10 to 20 gusts anyway. Temperatures are going to be nice and comfortable. 77 now, 80 degrees at 2 o'clock, on our way to 82 for a high, and dry. But not for too much longer, Rhonda. We'll track some rain in the near future coming up next.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Well, it is a big day for students at the University of Detroit Mercy, as today is move-in day for the freshmen. Students began moving in at 8 a.m. this morning and will continue to fill out campus throughout the rest of the week. Over 700 students are expected to live on campus, making this upcoming week one of the most important of the year. Yet the university is doing its best to make everyone feel welcome, as many incoming freshmen are feeling those first-year jitters.
It's a big change. I mean, high school was pretty easy for me and I was comfortable with it. but I have not gone to college yet. So it's a new and exciting experience. I'm a little nervous because I sort of know what's going on, but not really.
Oh, but they do so much to help the freshmen feel welcome and a part of the school student body. Students will now have the rest of the week to adjust to college life before classes officially kick off on Monday. But you should know all the sports teams come together, the basketball team, from men and women, volleyball, you name it, to help the freshmen move in and carry all their stuff. It's a pretty nice operation they have there. Still ahead, winning her second gold medal was nice, but now comes the moment that Claressa Shields has probably been looking forward to even more. We'll have more on that. Plus, EpiPens can save the lives of children with food allergies, but have they become completely unaffordable for families? Coming up, we look at the skyrocketing prices and what parents are trying to do about it. Welcome back. The price of EpiPens is skyrocketing and many parents are not happy about it. In 2007, the price of 2 EpiPen sets was less than $100. Today, that same set of pens is more than $600. Now parents across the nation are speaking out about it. In fact, a petition to Congress protesting the price increase already has more than 48,000 signatures. Mylan, the company who sells the pens, has not commented on the price hike. A new study says that Verizon is the top performer wireless carrier. Verizon ranked ahead of rivals Sprint, T-Mobile, and AT&T across 6 categories. Specifically, Verizon topped the competition in reliability, data coverage, and overall performance. And this is the 6th straight year that Verizon has topped RootMetrics rankings. Thousands of drunk driving cases could be reopened and maybe even dismissed after problems with toxicology tests. State police call it a calibration error. 4,000 cases statewide are now being re-examined. 4,000 of them. In July, MSP alerted prosecutors of the error and the need for retesting. Many retested blood alcohol samples showed unchanged results, but state police still plan to retest as many blood samples as necessary. Still ahead, it's Tuesday, which means it's Tasty Tuesday, where Brandon will be taking us into a Shelby Township restaurant where one woman's passion for pizza has made her restaurant a must visit. Oh, was that ever good this morning?
And we have nothing else to eat in here now. We
ate it all.
That's a good sign. Stay tuned for that and your forecast. Well into the 70s, heading into the 80s. So we are warming up. As we increase temperatures, we increase storm chances. Coming up next.
Welcome back. President Obama boarded Air Force One this morning and is now on his way to Louisiana. During his visit, the president's expected to see the devastation firsthand, as well as talk with local officials and see how else the federal government can assist the state during this difficult time. Recovery efforts continue throughout Louisiana as residents remain in constant struggle to build back their lives after the historic flood killed 13 people and forced thousands more from their homes. Here at home, Brandon, I know you mentioned rain, but not today.
I mean, look around. Not a sign of it. We don't have that look. Sometimes you get the high clouds streaming in ahead of a weather maker, and we'll get that more tomorrow as we expect some rain showers late in the day. But right now we're looking really, really good. Look at this, 77 degrees. Humidity is only about 50%, so the feels like temperature is up to about 79. Yesterday, very little humidity. Today it's up a touch. Tomorrow a touch more. I think the most humid day of the week will be on Thursday. Yet another day where we have some rain and thunder shower chances. But again, not today. Get out there and enjoy this stuff. 82 degrees. Getting to that point where I'm not going to say keep the windows open or keep the air coming in because it may be too warm for some of you, but it is refreshing and again, not terribly muggy. Tonight, not as cool as the last couple of nights, down to only about 64 degrees. We're in the upper 50s early this morning and very, very comfortable stuff. And it still will be overnight. Clearer skies to start the day today, and that will continue through the afternoon, through the overnight, and then tomorrow we start to see some of these high clouds streaming in, a big weather maker coming out of the west that's going to be around for a couple of days, both Wednesday and Thursday. First, a warm front as we head into tomorrow. Today, just a couple of clouds forming with the heat of the afternoon. And then tomorrow, we wake up and we see some of these clouds starting to stream in throughout the mid to late morning. And by about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll be seeing some of these showers in our western zone and maybe our northern zone. As we get through the afternoon and evening, all of us sort of under that threat for garden variety rain and thunder showers. And then on Thursday, we'll see another little cool front come at us, and that will bring some shower and storm chances into your afternoon. So a couple of days with a couple of chances, and we do have a chance for maybe a couple of stronger storms on your Thursday. Friday and Saturday, a lot like this Monday and Tuesday of this week, looking really, really good ahead. The story is about an Albanian immigrant who raised her kids here in Michigan and then became known in the neighborhood for her skills in the kitchen, feeding her family, feeding the neighbors. Well, Lily now has her own place and wants you to be part of her family.
Lily's Pizzeria and Deli in Shelby Township is a place of destiny. Lily Parakai put her lifetime of cooking passion on the table to open her namesake.
There's a million corporate chains out there. There's one Lily.
This Lily does it all. She makes her own doughs, fresh daily.
We make our own gluten-free dough. Most places buy it frozen. Lily has mastered the dough.
Daughter Leonora grew up eating Mom's cooking and says Mom, or Lily, has a secret recipe for her sauces, dressings, and dough with one secret ingredient.
She puts all her love in everything she makes, and that's the difference. That's what you're gonna get here that you're not gonna get anywhere else. It's Lily. You're gonna get Lily.
Lily's has a large, ready and hot, out the door in 6 minutes for $5.55, and a Chicago-style deep dish with everything made, sliced, and blended by Lily's hand. The top pizza ingredient is pepperoni. There's the regular and the old-fashioned, which, like Lily, has a little bit of a kick. Sandwiches and wraps, a California club with Lily's famous marinated chicken, and the signature wrap, rightfully named
Our Lily's wrap is our most famous wrap. It has grilled chicken, red onion, feta cheese, of course, and fresh arugula. You'll notice that we like a lot of feta. So a lot of the wraps will have feta in them. Our salads, we have an Albanian salad.
Oh, and it is ever good.
It is good, and it's in Shelby Township on Van Dyke. I believe it's near 21 Mile. I forget the cross street.
I thought it was 19. It's up there, though.
It's up there. Yeah, you'll know. It's open right now, and your deal today, mention Tasty Tuesday when you call in that pizza, sandwich, salad order, whatever it is, or visit Lily. You get 20% off your bill. Maybe you could ask for the Rhonda Walker.
Oh, yes. That was the pizza with feta cheese and spinach. It was delicious. And so was the Lily's wrap, the chicken wrap. Everything was good, honestly. We had a lot to eat this morning. Thank you, Lily. Well, she punched her way to gold in Rio, and now it's party time. Find out what's planned for Claressa Shields' homecoming in Flint coming up next.
She slipped.
Welcome back, everybody. Flint native and two-time Olympic gold medalist Claressa Shields returns to her hometown of Flint today, and you can help celebrate her arrival. 21-year-old Shields' flight is expected to land this afternoon in Flint at Bishop International Airport, and there's a big event for her that gets underway at 4:30, with Shields expected to arrive at 5:15. The public is encouraged to attend, as Shields will sign autographs, pose for pictures, and if you just can't make it to that today, there's another celebration that's going to be held at the Dort Event Center on Thursday in Flint. So give her a warm welcome if you can. Pretty proud of her.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you bet.
Continue. I'm depressed the Olympics are over, and she was a big part of it.
Yeah, so join in on the celebration. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Get out and enjoy the weather.